Douglas Cooling and Heating, serving the Birmingham area for 38 years. 988-3706. That's Douglas.
I'm James Spann. This is the morning edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Monday, the 8th of August, and I've actually got some convection around this morning, just maybe a little drier air later in the week. Now, let's get in there and talk about it early this morning. We'll start with the Skycam shots, and we'll begin with the view coming from Cullman. That's looking back off towards the west from the Skycam there. We've actually got some light rain falling at that site at 5 o'clock this morning. We'll check the Inverness Skycam. Things are quiet in Birmingham early this morning. A few brave souls out there. And we'll go way down south. That's the skyline of Mobile, as seen from the battleship USS Alabama up at the northern tip of Mobile Bay. Well, clearly the ridge is a little weaker. And accordingly, we've got some thunderstorms that's on the periphery of the ridge that's still centered west of here early this morning. In fact, let's check the radar at 5:03. And you can see that thunderstorm near Cullman, and also a real nice batch of storms over northwest Alabama, raining heavily early this morning over parts of Lamar and Marion counties. A lot of thunder and lightning there, kind of a rude wake-up call. Good rains up toward Russellville and Muscle Shoals, and that activity is dropping to the southeast, and we'll see if it holds together, maybe reaching Tuscaloosa and Birmingham later this morning, but clearly we'll have the risk of scattered storms around today. Check the surface chart, and we do have a front north of us that's running from near Cleveland down to about Wichita. Another front coming into North Dakota and Montana, and there's some chance that lead front will make it in here maybe tomorrow night, and if that's the case, that would mean drier air for at least the northern part of Alabama, perhaps by Wednesday and Thursday. Not necessarily cooler, maybe a little bit at night, but the dew point should be lower. And we'll see how that works out. The fronts are pretty rare in August around here, as you know. Here's a look at the highs yesterday. Same old story. Brutal heat in Texas and Oklahoma, but at least the northern part of Kansas and points north are getting some nice relief. In fact, highs only in the 70s up over parts of Minnesota and the upper Midwest. And again, we'll kind of keep an eye on that air. Watch warning map. Hey, there's nothing happening this morning across the vast fruited plain. Just a few flash flood issues along that front over northern Kansas and southern Nebraska. However, later today, we're expecting active convection in a pretty large area. It's a big slight risk running from just north of Memphis up to the Canadian border. Some of the cities in that would include Oklahoma City, and boy, they're praying for rain. That would be good for them. Tulsa, St. Louis, Kansas City, Omaha, Des Moines, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Louisville, Cincinnati, Indianapolis. And then tomorrow, that risk extends down in here, the northern part of Alabama. And again, that's kind of with this surface front easing in here from the northeast. And tomorrow, we could see a fairly decent little coverage of showers and storms. And again, it's not going to rain all day. And, you know, somebody's going to miss out. But most folks ought to get a decent chance of getting wet tomorrow. And then Wednesday, we get into drier air, and the risk is off to the west. And again, if it rains out there in that slight risk, that is not bad. That's good. They'll take that rain all day long, where they have been so parched all summer long. Overall rain for the next 5 days. The better rains up north, suggesting rainfall amounts here 1/2 to 1 inch. And this is valid through Friday evening at 7 o'clock. And again, the bulk of the rain this week should be today, tomorrow, and then again maybe late this week on Friday. And boy, the tropics, goodness, just quiet as a mouse here in August. This is when things tend to crank up. You know, we had Emily that tried to regenerate, and it never got its act together again east of Florida. And I guess this is part of the deal. Look at the dry air out there. This is the Sahara air layer, the desert air coming off the coast of Africa. And goodness, it's just dry over such a large chunk of the Atlantic. And that is perhaps one of the greatest factors inhibiting tropical action from forming right now. So we'll see if that hangs in there. Check the GFS. This is the OZ run, valid at 7 o'clock this evening. Yeah, the westerlies are dipping a little farther south as the ridge is beat down, and down below that, again, clearly there'll be scattered showers and storms around, and as we often mention on these synoptic scale maps, that's not going to be a lot of help. Temperatures today may be reaching the low to mid-90s, but with the morning convection is in progress, some folks could stay in the upper 80s today. And again, tomorrow looks relatively wet with a pretty decent chance of showers and storms. Highs probably dropping closer to 90. Sky may be cloudy at times. We'll say a mixture of clouds and sunshine. And then Wednesday, drier air tries to ease in here from the north and east. And again, you always have to be kind of skeptical of any dry air intruding in August, but we'll kind of lean in that direction and go for just a slight chance of a shower. We'll go to Thursday back in the upper air. And again, these upper air charts are at 500 millibars, kind of broad troughing over the east. And again, evidence of dry air over the northern and eastern part of Alabama. So for most of us, that day could be relatively dry. Now, this is summer. There's always the chance of a pop-up shower somewhere. And just maybe some folks up in the northeastern part of the state will see lows in the 60s instead of the 70s. Friday still looks pretty dry, really. And then Saturday, as we start the weekend, the moisture begins to come back as the surface boundary dissipates, and that would suggest a chance of scattered showers and storms, and the same thing Sunday. In fact, Sunday looks relatively wet. Out of the 2 days, perhaps that would offer the greater coverage of showers and storms. And again, north of us, we've got dry air over Tennessee and points north. We'll see if that makes it. There's Monday. The westerly still pretty far north, evidence of a vortex down there at Dothan. And again, that looks kind of wet with the drier air maybe trying to ease into northwest Alabama. But certainly we're not going to forecast drier air in one spot 7 days in advance this time of the year. Into the forecast, this is the 23rd of August. That still looks kind of warm there with that 588 ridge all the way from Texas up to the Great Lakes. And that would be kind of warm and soupy. And, the standard stuff, some risk of scattered showers and storms out there. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes on the blog. The next video here by 3:30 or so today. And if you're local to us, we invite you to watch us on television this evening, ABC 3340 in Birmingham at 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.
Being Alabama's news leader means digging deeper to get you the facts, working harder so you have all sides of the story, and not being afraid to tell the truth. Every day you award us by making ABC 3340 Alabama's most watched news. And now the Associated Press has named us Alabama's most outstanding news operation. That's 9 times since 1996, more than all other stations combined. And that's 9 more reasons you should trust the news leader. ABC 3340.